Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Bob's Morning Coffee Rants. It's a beautiful morning. It looks like it's going to be clear weather here for the next few weeks, so spring's finally coming around. You can see the sun shining through the trees there. Wind kind of giving my feathers back there, my totem feathers. I actually got them from a summer camp when I was younger, uh, or it was called Indian camp. Those are all my feathers, but they keep protection. Uh, Good medicine. So yeah, just having my, you can tell, some steaming coffee here, and wanted to talk to you guys this morning about stuff and things. Usually when humans interact with each other, they say words to evoke a response from the other party, and then they, in response, will say words themselves. And so when you have multiple people saying words to each other and talking about things and stuff, you can learn something. And so I guess I just would like to talk about what's on my mind. You know, a few of my videos are about what I think is going to happen here in the coming months and years, and I was kind of looking into, how would I define it? How would I say what I think is going to happen in a logical way? And when I see all of the events that are happening in the world, I mean, just a couple days ago, one of the largest drone strikes since the war in Ukraine started against Russia, hitting targets all across Russia. And, you got shipping container ships being sunk almost weekly now. People dying on those ships. It's just a never-ending onslaught of you just wake up and you look at the news and you're like, wonder what's it's gonna be today, and you get desensitized, and it's almost like predictive programming. They filter it into our daily life so much that we become hardened to it, calloused. Like what happened with COVID, could have just been a warm up for everything, because everybody freaked out and everybody's lives got rearranged. And but now when something bad happens, society is hardened to it, and we're being so desensitized to it that now, these massive airstrikes in Ukraine will happen, and it's like, well, guess what? There's a new streaming fight coming out on Netflix. uh, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. All these distractions, man, and they don't want you to really pay attention to what's going on. And they'll feed you information to make you want to think you know what's going on. But, even me, I pay attention to a lot of mainstream media and other news sources and other YouTube channels. Like one of them, Canadian Prepper, he's got way more subscribers than me, and definitely a lot more professional setup and everything. But he basically says everything that I want to say in a really well laid out, objective, realistic, logical way. And I agree completely with him. It's like hearing myself in my thoughts in an echo chamber when I hear the Canadian Prepper guy talk. Because, all these things are going on, and to be a person in the world today that thinks that nothing bad is going to happen and that your life is going to stay the way it is, with all these things happening constantly, all these uh, continuing wars and declining economies, and Haiti is literally collapsed. I mean, the country has always been in shambles, but man, it's like literally hell there. So what are you gonna do with all these millions of people that live on this tiny little island? They're gonna flood somewhere when they've got no resources or ability to stay safe. I mean, it's just another addition to what's going on the southern border. You know, so we've got wars, southern border. We've got monetary systems that are collapsing, our own especially, like we're basically insolvent. I mean, you look at the interest on our current U.S. national debt, and by next year it's going to be over $1 trillion a year. And where are they going to get that money? It's got to come from taxpayers. So they're going to take more of your money, you'll earn less, and then inflation will go up. And there's got to be a giving point. That's what I'm I, I'm always thinking about. Like, when is that giving point? Or, that tips us over the edge. Because it seems like it should have already happened. But people who look at people like me and think I'm crazy, they'd be like, "Yeah, you just think it's like Y2K or, the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis," but they don't. I'm gonna have a Zen. I need to chill out. Not sponsored, by the way, but these are my go-to. A little tchotchke, little upper decky, bud. uh, yeah. There's just an infinite amount of information that says World War III is going to happen. And if you want to be one of the people that lives your life like this buddy of mine, he was skiing at Mount Bachelor the other day with his friends, and then he was flying back to San Diego, or I don't really know what he does, but everybody, it's good. Live your life and be happy, but how can you live every day like normal, going snowboarding or doing anything in a normal function, knowing that tomorrow the world could be at war? Like, the delusion that you have to put yourself in, that you have to be able to just go on every day saying, "I hope it'll just be okay and that nothing bad will happen." It's like a psychosis and a sickness in our society right now, because people want to take sides. They want us to be divided. But you just gotta clear the bush, or part the bush, and look at the clear truth of it. The war in Israel. You got people who are on the Palestinian side and people who are on the Israeli side. I don't take either side. I look at what happened. The Israelis got attacked. Almost 2,000 of their people got killed. They want to make sure that never happens again. So how do they do that? They go into Gaza. Yeah, there has been a lot of dispute about that land ever since uh, medieval times. That's why it was called the Holy Land. You had the Muslims and the Christians fighting over it for millennia, and you know it. it if you ever listen to that, I think it's John Lennon's song, Imagine. Imagine all the people. In the song, he says, "Imagine that there's no borders. You know, it's not that hard if you try." So everybody just gets so stuck on these religious principles and these idealistic ideas that are really ignorant, and you don't have any perspective of the bigger picture, so you end up becoming one of these extremists, and that's not a fault of their own, because they didn't have a good education system and they grew up in a bad country with lots of crime and, you know, Sharia laws, all these things that, if you were born a child in Afghanistan, you grew up there, that's the kind of life you'd have. If you're born a child in America and you grew up with a nice white family that had a lake house next to a ski resort, that would be your life. But if you were to just take those babies and swap them from day one, they would grow up the exact same way. They would just be different color, from a different family, but they would be indoctrinated whether they grew up in one place or another. So it doesn't matter where you're born or where you come from. We're all the same people, and we all just need to get along and, put all these dumb differences aside, man, because there's so much more we could do if we were to just put all these petty differences aside. I don't know if any of you guys watch Rick and Morty, But there's an episode where they go to the snake planet because Morty decides to get out of Rick's ship one day and he gets bitten by a space snake. And so, uh, anyways, if you watch that episode, you'll see like they go to visit the planet and Rick's like, "Oh my god, look at all these dumb snakes! They're all fighting about food and land because they're different color snakes, they're different patterns. But they're all the same snakes, creating all these dumb problems. You know, greed and the desire for control. These people that have so much money, the billionaires of the world, who once they reach the pinnacle of their industry or become the best at what they do, realize they're the smartest people and maybe they should make the decisions for us. But yeah, I call this Bob's Morning Coffee Rants for a reason. But I would like to say to you guys, if you are one of the people that truly understands what's going on and you want to be ready, now is the time to prepare, you know. Now is the time to take a moment like I'm doing and enjoy your mornings, because there might come a time when you're up for 72 hours after shit hits the fan, making sure your perimeter's secure, making sure that all your family is safe. You know, I got all these kitties here, and I don't have a wife or kids, but I got cats and a dog, and I want to protect them. You know, they're my family. So you got to protect what's important to you and make sure you take the proper steps to prepare, because the day will come, and I hope it won't, but I'm a logical person and I'm an objective realist, and I look at the information and I see what's happening, and there is no way that we come out of this without it escalating into a major world conflict. So enjoy your life, guys. This little bubble lasts, and I'll talk to you again another day. Have a good day. Peace.